We're going to be locked inside of a steel cage.
All right, sorry about that. We have technical difficulties there, but this is part two of the NXT special in Charlotte. So, um, now we last left off with Carmelo Hayes and Apollo Crews for the 2 out of 3 falls, and Carmelo Hayes ended up walking away with that one. And now right after that, we had the 4-way NXT Tag Team Championship match. So 4 tag teams all trying to become the next tag team champions. And the team we're very familiar with are the current NXT champions, the New Day. So New Day took on Gallus, Chase U, and Pretty Deadly. Now that was filled with chaos and wrestling and chaos. um, very good, entertaining all the way through from every team. Every team did well there. It was that's hard to do for every team to come in and just like spot after spot after spot and hit after hit after hit, crowd pop after crowd. I mean that one may even be the nominee for match of the night. Definitely maybe even tag match of the night if you want to go that route. So thoughts on those, sir?
How many times did we say who's legal, who's legal, who's legal?
Right.
I mean,
the entire second half of the match.
The best, spot of the match, and wasn't even a spot. The best moment of the match to me was when I believe Gallus was going to try, or somebody was going to try and put Pretty Deadly through the table, or vice versa. They cleared the monitors. Pretty Deadly gets out of it, and then they clean up everything, put the monitors back, put the covering back on the table, and they're like, no, there will be no tables. Well, a little bit later on, Duke Hudson of Chase U goes through the table. Thank you, Gallus. And, Gallus then, ends up pinning Xavier Woods. He was going for his, walk the top rope, move that he kind of borrowed, we'll say, from The Undertaker. And he got caught, and Gallus ends up pinning him 1, 2, 3, hits their finish. Gallus is your new NXT Tag Team Champion.
Just like that. I like it. Good memory, by the way. There was so much going on there. I almost didn't remember who won.
It was tough. I actually had to go back and watch a little bit of it today just to make sure I had it kind of. But yeah, it was. But yeah, the chaos is the best. Chaos and entertaining are the 2 words that I use to describe that match.
Yeah, Andre Chase, former North Carolina indie guy. Him and his brother were part of the Bravado Brothers from Eden, North Carolina. I've actually been on shows with them up in Eden and Wentworth, and I'm happy to see how far he's gone. But yeah, I mean, and how they've gotten over so well. I mean, you think a teacher gimmick is usually a heel, but
he started. He did start out that way. It was. He was. I still don't understand how he can wrestle in a sweater, a dress shirt, dress pants, and loafers. I mean, it's God bless him for being able to do that.
Well, when I got home last night, somebody had posted up the video of him doing the stomp to Chase U. And in the arena, it was loud, but actually, if you go back and watch it, it's really loud. You could hear it clearly through the broadcast, which that's how over that is. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah. They're kind of this heelish tweener thing, and just like everyone's throwing up the U the entire time. So, I mean, that was just great.
Yeah, very, very good. All those, well, of course, New Day, they've already established themselves. But the other 3 definitely have a future. We will see them on Raw, SmackDown, no doubt about it. Even maybe main event in WrestleMania. So,
was anybody surprised by the outcome of that match? That it was Gallus?
Yeah,
it was Gallus that won.
I would say not really, and only this. I didn't pick him. I'll be honest. I'm not going to go to that side. But Pretty Deadly are your former NXT UK and NXT Tag Team Champions. So they've been to the top. Obviously, New Day, they're there to help build the tag team division. They're probably heading, I would assume, heading back to the main roster. It was good to me. It was going to come down between Chase U and Gallus, and I think in this case the right team won. Chase U still kind of, I would say, developing, because Duke Hudson and Andre Chase have been, they're still developing their chemistry together. So, I mean, Gallus has been around NXT UK and has come over to NXT. So they've been around a while. So it's, it didn't surprise me. I think they'll defend the titles well, and Chase U's time is coming.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, and Gallus ended up walking away. Your new tag champ. So maybe, I guess, New Day goes back to the main roster, or do they stay
We
down
would
there?
assume, yeah.
Yeah, or do they stay there and keep helping out? But yeah, probably back to the main roster where they're needed. After a while, hopefully we'll see Big E come back, and those three guys are back doing their thing as always. They were one of the hottest. Them and the Usos, definitely the hottest tags out there on the main roster. So, our co-main event.
Yeah, before
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, before the show even started, there was two things that happened constantly: woos and New Day
Yeah.
claps and chants.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
just how over they have been for so long. I mean, as I said, I think my favorite went during our "Who's Your Favorite Faction?" I picked the New Day, and for me, that solidifies how important they are to the WWE.
And the history there with those guys, and even like in the African American community, I noticed that too. There's a lot of African Americans on the card, a lot in the crowd, and it's all we talked about family earlier, and man, wrestling just it brings us all together, and that's another big thing. Just a little side note for myself. I love how we all come together and watch wrestling and just have a good time and cheer for everybody. Yeah. So, but you saw a couple episodes ago the NXT Women's Champion Darren Stone went 1-on-1 with Roxanne Perez, and she defended her title against Toxic Attraction, both of them. Gigi and I'm sorry, what is the other one's name? Gigi and JC, right?
Gigi and JC.
JC,
Yes.
I want to make sure I got it right. JC and Gigi. And we knew it was coming. We knew that they were probably going to end up, no, I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win.
And
that's kinda what
Roxanne
happened.
Roxanne told me a couple of weeks ago she knew she was in for a 2-on-1 battle for a while. She just had to get it to a point where Gigi and JC started, kind of trying to one up each other and then going into business for themselves, which is what happened towards the end of the match. Then, they kind of tried to team up. They both have Roxanne up on the top rope. Gigi's on the outside. There's a table down there. Roxanne kicks Gigi off the top rope, goes through the table, takes care of JC, and my girl Roxanne takes her title back to their locker room.
Did you guys notice the crowd reaction in this match? I mean, there were fans cheering for Roxanne. There were fans cheering for Gigi, but nobody was cheering for JC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like, okay, you have your popular one, you have the one everybody loves. You have the kind of, okay, some people like her, some people don't. And then you had the one nobody wanted. But I thought that was pretty good. There was no love for JC Jane. I mean, it was a great match, though. It was a really great match. So what happens between these two now?
Well, speaking of a split and causing problems, if I'm not mistaken, somebody here went against the person they interviewed. I believe during the entire time.
Did Surfer Jay was he cheering
Aaron
for somebody?
Stone? I was hearing him go, "Let's go, Gigi," and nothing about Roxanne.
I don't. That must have been the kid behind you.
On that one?
That must have been the kid behind you that you heard. That's all I can say. I was in Roxanne's corner the entire time. I had complete and utter faith in my girl Roxanne. That's all I'm gonna say.
And then breaking news, considering what C Rich just said about what's gonna happen with Toxic Attraction. For this Tuesday night on NXT, Ding Dong, who's at the door? Ding Dong, hello. It's Bailey is bringing her show back, and it'll be on NXT, and she's going to be talking to GG and JC. So that'll be something to look forward to, and quite interesting.
Cool. I like that.
Heck of a finish to that match with the Pop Roxy off the top rope.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
More tables broken. Second table broken of the night. Because in that tag match there
Mhm.
was a table broken, and then in a women's match we got a broken table. And the prodigy, Roxanne, keeping her title right in front of her mentor, Booker T, on commentary. So also pretty good match there.
And right in front of her favorite podcaster as well. But that's another story.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, I saw her. She was looking at you the entire, a lot of times in that match.
Absolutely. You saw her wave to me several times. So
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
Good stuff. So not only did Darren Stone sit down with Roxanne Perez, he also sat down with the NXT champion, Braun Breaker.
And still
And
NXT
still.
champion.
Still NXT champion. Against Grayson Waller inside a steel cage. Some of us have never seen that in Faction 919, and we got to see our first steel cage match. Also, another great one. That, I don't know if I've ever seen such. There was a clear face and a clear heel. But right down the middle, the crowd was
Mhm.
split. Those guys are both so over, it was insane. So that no matter what happened that night, the crowd was going to go home happy, as we did.
I was kind of expecting Grayson to do a nice spot off of the cage. Whether he hit it or not is a different story. But, I guess they just had him dial it back a little bit because he did jump off the cage in War Games and get the finishes. He got the official pin in War Games. So kind of was expecting, they teased it a little bit. I mean, Braun did catch him and do a suplex off the top rope, which looked, it was a great looking spot. I'm just trying to wonder, did the cage take more of a beating or did Grayson Waller take more of a beating? Because those guys were running. I mean, they were testing the limits of that cage. They really were.
Yeah, in the beginning of that match, I think we all kind of like sat back when Braun was running the ropes and just hitting that cage hard
Right.
left and right,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, that has to hurt alone. And I thought it was interesting. We were all like debating about which side of the ring was going to collapse because they went after three sides quite heavily. And then there was the side that we were kind of on. They never really went for it, never hit it. And we were going, oh, this is where it's going to happen. They're going to break the cage right here. A minute later, Grayson Waller's
They hit it.
face went straight into it. And we all went, oh, okay, never mind. It's going to be a clean finish then. So, I mean, yeah, that match was just crazy powerful all the way through, hard hitting, just excellent.
Grayson Waller proved he could take a beating.
Yeah. I mean,
Hard hitting for sure, and there's a lot you can do with Braun Striner, or Braun Breaker. I feel like he's at some point he's going to be on the main roster sooner than later. And Grayson, I mean, he's a heel. There's ways out for them to continue what he's doing, but he showed a lot to everybody too.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Grayson Waller came out in the old chain
no.
with the
Oh,
chain
and
through
the,
his
I see
head.
what, yeah.
Yeah, he came out.
Kind of mimicking Uncle Scott there for a little bit. So.
Yes, sir. Yeah, good heel move there. I love it. Yeah, great match. Both of them, either way, were just great. And yeah, those two have a future at the top spots for sure.
And we can't forget that the show closed with a little face off while Braun is on top of the cage. Out comes the number one contender, Carmelo Hayes, on the ramp, and they just kind of staring each other off as we go off the air. So obviously leading up to Stand and Deliver, which is happening WrestleMania weekend. So I think, I'll just go on record now saying that, that's where Braun drops the title at Stand and Deliver. And he'll get his main roster call up. So there you go. February, whatever today is, February 5th. You heard it here.
Yeah.
And
that's
let me
that's the
one
path I
more
see.
thing real quick to anyone, in the business. If you want to win championships and maintain championships, you come on my show. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I
You're
lead
undefeated.
people to stardom. There you go. I'm 2-0 right now. So there you go.
I like it. I like it. So, yeah, great. All together, one by one. You guys tell me your letter grade for that event in person. I'm gonna go straight up A. What about you guys?
I'm an A.
I'm an A.
Of course, A.
I'm an A, but also the pay-per-view or the PPE was an A as well.
Yeah. Everyone performed their butts off, man, and it was great. And I would love to go see another NXT show. Uh,
Like
and
Raleigh. Like Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Yeah. a little closer. Yeah, we
Maybe
did.
Greensboro, maybe.
Yeah,
That was
it was a 2.5 hour drive for us, but hey,
long night.
yeah,
Yeah.
long night, and we may or may
I
not.
love I was gonna say I love the fact that they actually filled almost 3 hours, like the
did.
main roster guys do, all the bigger PLEs do. So I was expecting because they normally do 2.5 tops. They went close to 3, and it was awesome. So there you go.
The only little disappointment I had, and it's like I said, it's very small, was that they didn't have any dark matches with the with up and comers. I was kind of looking forward to that, just to kind of see if they were going to use anybody within the region that we recognize. But aside from that, I mean that is like that's like complaining about sunny and 75 degrees. It's just one of those small things, and it's just something I was expected that didn't happen.
That might have been the first event I've ever been to where there was no dark matches. So I'm curious what the reasoning behind that is. I don't know if it's time constraint or what, but yeah, I
Well,
would
I
like
mean,
to
it
see
was
a
their
dark
first
match.
time out of Florida since the pandemic, so I'm
That's
wondering
true.
if they were just like, you know what, let's not go crazy, no frills, just do
Right.
what we got to do and get out.
And
Hopefully, nothing goes
Sure.
wrong.
you figure they only traveled with necessary performers.
Right.
There was just a couple extra. We mentioned Tony D'Angelo and Stax in the first match. Then you had Brooks and Jensen in the women's tag match. You had a few representatives of Chase U, and that was it, other than production staff and actual performers. So,
And brand new trucks, we believe.
I guess that's an inside joke.
Ask us on Twitter if you want to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, ask us on Twitter.
Very good. So yeah, as you see, Faction 919 gives all of us give it an A, and in the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, we will be back. WWE will be back to any of your NXT events. Very good. Bravo to Shawn Michaels and the
Bravo.
boys, and everyone who put that together. All the performers, production, good stuff. So, hey, where you can find us on social media and other podcasts you can watch right here. We'll be right back. Surfer J sitting down one more time with an Independent Star. We'll get there.
All your cardiac cast info?
Then we got just a show for you.
This is the Donnie and Anthony Show.
An all Carolina Panthers podcast. For all your Carolina Panthers info, the Donnie and Anthony Show, the DNA Show. Because the black and blue runs through our DNA.
Keep pounding.
Pounded. All right, and as we can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're all there. And YouTube. We're watching now. So, Surfer J, your longest interview yet. And LeBron Cozone, this is part 3 of your interview. Now, this time around, what did you guys talk about for your final sit down with him?
Yeah, me and him laughed. We could have talked for hours about it because me and him go way back. We know a lot of the same people. This episode is mostly about New Jack, and we also talk about a young Austin Theory and how he was young and up and coming in the Greensboro region for a while.
You got plenty of stuff to look back on, though. I mean, I'd even forgot about New Jack being there, but you said he was your mentor. That obviously meant a lot to you to have him at some of those shows. I mean, you had Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory was a big part of your shows at one point, and a lot of, he's huge now.
Austin Theory, he was part of the W tryout DJ Hyde seminar in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's probably like 8 years old, and I saw him. He had the look. I asked him how long he's been training because he worked a dope match, and he said only 4 months. And I'm like, whoa. I said, okay, sir, give me your cell phone number. I'll be in touch. And when we had our Wrestle Revival event that year, 2006, part of the main event, and he went against AC, later became independent world champion. Yeah, Austin Theory. Yeah, I believe we're probably the first people to really book him outside of his home training school, WA4. New Jack originally hit me up back around 2015 when we were doing shows for the Boys and Girls Club, and he left me a voicemail. Hey, yo, this New Jack. And the only thing I knew about New Jack is that he stabbed people. You know? And we didn't need that at the Boys and Girls Club. You know what I mean? So I ignored the voice. And then 2017, he called me. I didn't know who was it. New Jack now. Who I said, sure. You know, nervous. Came through, and I didn't tell none of my students. They probably would have ran. They probably wouldn't have showed up to class. They would have known that New Jack was going to be there. But New Jack walked in training school, and I'll never forget the books. And honestly, every time New Jack showed up to the training, everybody's,
Yeah.
you know. At the time, he was trying to get back active in the ring. He was nursing an ankle injury, and I said, cool, no problem. He said he'd be willing to help out too. And, you know, at the same time, all the stories, the infamous New Jack stories, I didn't know. I didn't understand. Everything I learned from New Jack, all the stories I learned from him and his reasoning, and him talking to me on the road, or if we're at a restaurant. But yeah, New Jack, he got in the ring that first day, and he locked up with my kids. Headlock takeover, arm drag, scoop slam. I'm like, what? He can wrestle? You know? All I thought was, you know, stabbing people and with chairs. That's all I thought. Not only that, but man, his promos. Probably the best promo.
You see, there's a new sheriff in town. And his name is New Jack.
Not just me, but kids that were there training with New Jack really cared. He wasn't selfish. And he wouldn't.
Best believe the original gangster is back in the house and your ass is gonna belong to me.
I remember we were at Hooters. That was his favorite restaurant. And some kid came up with a box of chocolate. trying to sell a candy bar. That bought the whole box.
Wow.
It killed like $20-something box. I got kids. I said, I won't ever say a bad thing about you.
God knows what it's all about. I heard you ripped them to pieces.
Yeah, you got to see a whole different side of New Jack, and your students did too. I mean, they got to learn how to wrestle from him, which most people would think that's crazy, but man, that's what he was. He was a true wrestler, and he was a great personality, and he was always willing to give back.
The reason why New Jack had to defend himself in the way that he did, because one, that's the only way he knows how. Two, when a lot of wrestlers or hardcore wrestlers, all these Bud Show outlaw promotions, those wrestlers don't know how to work. They don't distinguish the difference. And New Jack has to protect himself, you know, and then he run across people have animosity, things that he said over his and then his ways he was brought up, you know, how he approached veteran in the locker room. You know, those is different. Those are his why some incidents happen, you know. As far as how far he went, you know, it's questionable. But I rather remember New Jack, the person, the man that I knew, and had a big heart.
Job well done, Surfer J. So you guys talked about quite a bit, and
Yeah, you learned about a whole new side of New Jack, the softer side, a friendlier side, a side that he wanted to give back. Side not many people seen, but the Bron Cozone and his trainees saw it. And if you want to find out more about the Bron Cozone and Firestar Pro Wrestling, it's FSPwrestling.com. And that's his training school and his promotion. And you can search Firestar Pro Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram.
very nice, very good. And best of luck, LeBron. I believe we're going to be seeing you even more. We've already seen a little bit on AEW. I think we're going to keep seeing you more and more and more on the tube. So best of luck to you as well. And thank you for sitting down with us with Faction Hour 9 as well. Three-parter. Very good. Very, very good. So, and that is it for us, man. The NXT special, season 2, episode 3. We hope you enjoyed NXT as much as we did. We sure did. Next week, we're going to take off, and that's how it's going to be from here on out. It'll be every other Sunday. You catch your All Things Wrestling podcast, Faction 919. So we'll take off this Sunday. Enjoy that Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles, whoever you go for, enjoy it. Have some wings, burgers, dogs. Enjoy that Super Bowl. And then next week, come back here. We'll keep talking wrestling. And the following Sunday, we're off. Come back. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. Every other weekend, Faction 919. That's our new schedule. Sundays at 9. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can follow us on all social media. And that's it for us. On behalf of C. Rich, Darren Stone, Surfer J, JB, I'm your man, Fan Man. And in the meantime, between time, you want to take these belts from us as the best wrestling podcast out there. You damn well try, but you're not going to do it, all right?
Yeah, I can't do this because that's the Dark Order. Can't do the.
yeah, we got to come up with a hand signal.
Fives.
We gotta come up with a hand signal of some sort. So I don't know what to do with my hands.
How about that one? How about that one? Does that work?
Yeah, it's Uncle Howdy. So, hey, enjoy it. Enjoy this Sunday. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Join us right back here on All Things Wrestling Podcast, Faction 919. We'll see you again starting next Sunday.